Hello, in this tutorial video we are going to cover some of the topics which have not been covered in the first unit. We will start with the timber. So in the timber some of the topics have already been covered, and some of the topics which are not covered, which includes defect in timber. In this topic, defects in timber, we had covered the defect due to conversion, fungi and insects. In this video we are going to cover the defect which is due to the natural forces. In this case, there are various types of defect which includes right from 1st to the 14th. These are all the defects which are due to the natural forces. These forces could be any external forces which helps in the altering of the natural shapes and size of the timber. So these are the following some of the defects in the timber which is due to the natural forces. We will start with first with the bulls. As you can see from this depictive photo, that these are the bulbs, which are the bump type of the structure which grow on the surface or bark of the tree. So if such type of defects are seen on the timber, then this comes under the category of bulbs. Next type of defects is known as callus. In this type of defect, you can see from the diagram that when from certain part of the timber, from the external part, if we break down the timber, then that portion is healed by the tissue that grows over the timber. So if such type of defect is found on the tree, then that comes under the category of callus. Next type of defect is known as chemical strain. In this case, the wood is when exposed to certain chemical action, then they develop such type of defect, and these are known as chemical strain. Next type of defect is known as coarse grain. From here you can see this defect. Here you can see that the annual rings have been widened and tree have grown in and tree have grows rapidly, and hence it possesses less strain. So such type of defect comes under the coarse grain. And next type of defect is known as deadwood. From here you can see that when the plant or when a timber loses its life, it becomes dead, because it also has a certain life of certain span. So when that life or span is over, then it becomes dead. So such type of defect is known as deadwood, and that is indicated by lightweight and reddish color. Next type of defect is known as drunkenness. From this diagram you can see a white like patches which appears on the surface of the timber. If such type of defect is found, then that is known as drunkenness. Next type of defect is known as foxiness. In this type of defect, when due to poor ventilation during the storage of the timber, there is certain yellowish or reddish tinge like spots are found on the pith of the tree. So such type of defect is known as foxiness. Next type of defect is known as knots, which are found when you break down for certain branches from the tree. Then such type of knots or bases are formed on the tree. This is known as knots. Depending upon the size of the knots, these are the four types of the knots, depending upon what is the dia of that base. So these are the four types of knots. Again depending upon the form as well as the quality of that knots, we have categorized the knots into these 6 categories, which are dead knots, decayed knots, live knots, loose knots, round knots and tight knots. Next we have got wrinkles. In this case you see an abnormal growth on the periphery of the tree. So if such type of defect is found, then it is known as wrinkles. Next type of defect is known as sakes, which are the cracks which appears on the fibers of the woods, and these are the following 5 types of the defects. First is the cup sakes. So if such type of defects is seen on the cross section of the timber, when there is rupture of the tissue on a circular direction, as you can see from this diagram. So if such type of defect is found, then it is known as cup sakes. Next type of defect is ring sake. So if in this case, if this whole cup sake covers the whole annual ring, then that comes under the ring sake. So in next tutorial video we will cover the heart shake.